Today, we're dissolving some lip fillers and jazzing up a bonny wee lassie. Hello TLCers. I'm going to be showing you in this episode what it looks like when somebody has had their lip filler dissolved, and also how we use Botox and dermal fillers in somebody who's a little bit younger. So let's just grab the iPad and crack straight on. So as we can see, this patient is a little bit on the younger side. She has already had some lip filler done elsewhere in another clinic. So for my taste, I found that the lip was just a little bit overinflated. Her proportions are good. So if you measure in between the eyes, like so, you should find that the width of the nose is the same. And if I just drop down a line like this, sorry, I am not the straightest drawer sometimes, especially on the iPad. The fullest part of the lower lip should be right here. So although the proportions are good, I just found that, well, they just looked a little bit overstuffed, kind of like sausage. So we dissolve them anyway. When you're looking at the length of the whole lip, you should find that the ratio is 1 to 1.618 of the distance in between the eyes, as I've mentioned to you before on previous videos. And this area here should be the fullest part of the lower lip. Looking at her, she does have a little bit of a shadow across the chin crease, which we could look to improve. And she's got generally good facial thirds, so everything seems to be pretty much in proportion with her facial thirds, and she's got quite a nice feminine point as well to the chin. So let's see exactly what we did, shall we? Okay, so what we're going to do now is the front portion of the cheek. As we get older, this whole area here gets quite flat. So if we add some volume in the front portion of the cheek right here, and also next to the nose, it will bring this whole unit forwards. You know, it stops you from looking like you've got a bit of a flat face. When we do that, we have to use a product which is kind of thin-ish to make sure that we're not putting too much pressure on the blood vessels in that area. We did actually inject her nose as well, so you can see I'm just going into the radix of the nose, which is this bit right here, because she did have a little bit of a bump on it. It wasn't too much, and I've actually switched over to using a different type of needle in this area. Can you see it looks a little bit different to the ones that I was using previously? It's much smaller. This is an insulin needle, and the reason we use that is because it just gives a bit more control in these tricky areas. You can see as well that I'm doing the tip of the nose. This bit is my favorite bit now. So forehead, most people think that forehead is just for Botox, and it's not, because as you get older you lose volume right in the central portion of the forehead just here. So if we use a little bit of dermal filler there quite judiciously, it can give that the curve to the forehead back, and it's quite a youthful sort of look having it like that. So now we're going to get rid of this old lip filler that she'd actually had done, I think it was about 6 weeks before this appointment. So it should have all settled down by now. Normally when you have lip filler done, it settles within maybe 2-3 weeks maximum. So the appearance that she's got right now, that's kind of the final appearance. And we decided to remove that because, I don't know, I just felt like it was a little bit too ducky, you know, it was kind of sticking out a little bit too much, and it just looked a little bit overfilled. So we do that by injecting an enzyme into that area, which breaks down the old filler which was in there. And that works really, really quickly. So as soon as you've done the injection, it starts working, and then probably by the next day, you'll be able to see what it looks like without the filler. Now, sometimes you do have to do those injections more than once because it doesn't break everything down immediately, and you'll maybe, I don't know, get rid of like a half of it or a third of it. So that means that you have to do it again. But thankfully, In her case, it was more than enough. So I just want to show you now her before and afters. And I think this one's really interesting. So I'm just going to go and grab the iPad. So see here, her light reflection in her forehead. I'm just going to outline that. Can you see sort of this area here in comparison with the light reflection being here, here, and here? And that's because we've rounded the forehead off more, you know, made it a bit more curved. You can see also that there's a slight change in the position of the brow. So we've got a slightly bigger distance here in comparison with the before picture. And that's because her muscles right here have been relaxed and she can't pull down and frown quite as much as she could before. That's one of the ways in which using Botox will give you a nice, lovely, relaxed look. You can see also that we've improved this curve right here. You see that lovely smooth curve we've got there? And also this line has been improved as well, using the filler. Obviously, we've got much less filling in the lip, and this is interesting. Can you see how the shape of the lower lip is a little bit more of a U shape as opposed to being flattened like this? So this is a much more natural curve to the lower lip, which I think looks quite nice. You see as well, she's lost this shadow in this chin crease, and this whole area here looks a lot smoother. This whole jawline has been vectored upwards like so, and she just looks a little bit more wide awake. Now I just want to show you how she looks when she's smiling. So you see we've got the before here and the after side by side. You can see that when she's smiling in this before shot, I don't know how well you can see this, but this area here and here, the muscle looks really, really strong. You know, she's really pulling there. And she's got a little bit of an excess pull on that part of her lower lip. You know, that muscle is really pulling down. Whereas on this side, you don't quite have the same kind of obvious muscle pull. Sure, she still is pulling here a little bit, but it's not quite as much. And this whole area here, where the lines were, just looks a bit smoothed off. You can even see that in this chin dimple right here too. Can you also see how in the before, this nasolabial fold is much deeper than this one? And then in the after, they're a little bit more equal. And that's because we have given more support to the region by adding filler here and here and here on both sides, which helps to make this muscle here a bit stronger and also break the connection on the other side, so that it kind of balances everything up a little bit more. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all we've got time for today. Join us again next week, where we're going to be showing more patients with more procedures. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like to have a look at, please let me know in the comment section below. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.